and welcome to the Yarn Stories podcast, episode number 4. My name is Sophie and I'm coming to you from Maidenhead in the UK. I live here with my fiance Matt and our black cat Fernando. This is a knitting and crochet podcast, and if it's your first time joining, then welcome, and if you are returning, then thank you for coming back. If you haven't already, then make sure you press the subscribe button and you'll be the first to know when a new video has been released, which at the moment is seeming to be monthly. Since the last podcast at the end of June, we had just got engaged and we have planned and booked our wedding for later on this year. So we've been very busy with that, and I also turned 30 on the 11th of July. So as well as the restrictions lifting here in the UK, we've been very busy catching up, seeing family to celebrate my birthday and our engagement, and just enjoying the summer. So I haven't had that much knitting or crocheting time, and therefore haven't had much content to share with you. But I think for the next few months we're still fairly busy, so I will not commit to how often I will record, but I'll try and do one at least each month at the end of the month to kind of round up what I have been working on and what I've been up to. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this episode. If you do, give us a like, a thumbs up, and let me know what you enjoy about it. Cool, so into the content for today, we're going to start with finished objects and what I am wearing. So you will have seen this before. This is the Seaborn tee by Herbgarden Knitwear. The lovely Hannah accepted me to test. It is a cropped boxy tee. I knit this out of Drops Belle in the colours white and Dandelion, and I just absolutely love it. This was a project of many firsts. So this was my first garment that I've knit myself, and I don't think I went in lightly. As you can see, this beautiful shell pattern and around the arms. So I learned a new cast on. The whole shell pattern was completely new techniques to me, and just absolutely blew my mind the way it worked up. It's so pretty. It's really, really lovely. So yeah, the cast on was new, the shell pattern is new, the techniques in it, increases and decreases and various things were completely new to me. This was worked bottom up. This is the first time I've striped yarn, I think, pretty sure it is. And what else? It's the first, the various bind off that there were all new to me. Yeah, and I think I've done okay. I'm pretty proud of myself, and it's really comfortable. I did have a few tricky parts, I suppose. The cast on, I knew that I might have some trouble with it, so I practiced kind of swatching the cast on for a few rounds. So when it came to actually casting on, because it was the biggest cast on I've ever done, I didn't want to get one row in or two rows in and have to frog it. I wanted to make sure I got it right first time, because I just couldn't face redoing it. So I took my time, I was really slow, and thankfully I got it right the first time. I'm sure there are a few little mistakes in there, but overall I don't think anyone would notice unless you went searching for it. but the one thing I did have problems with was attaching the sleeves. I bound them off very tight, and I tried it on and the whole thing just felt way too small and it was kind of cutting into my arm. So even though I should have tried it on after the first sleeve and I didn't, I just cracked on with the second, and I weaved in all of my ends before I tried it on, so that was a rookie mistake. But I was really gutted that it was really too small, but it just felt too tight. It was binding off, it was too tight. You could see on the inside where I'd done it really tightly. So I found my end, I unweaved the end, I unpicked the sleeves, and I went up a needle size, a whole millimetre maybe, or half a millimetre, and I bound off really, really, really loosely, and I can tell the difference massively. I actually put a picture up on my Instagram stories of the difference between the first sleeve and the second sleeve, because I left the one on whilst I reattached the other, and there was about nearly an inch difference. So that was how the difference on binding off loosely made. But I'm really, really happy with it. It's so comfortable. I really love it. I love wearing it. It's a lovely summer. I'm wearing it right now with you can't see, but high-waisted jeans. I went out on Tuesday wearing high-waisted denim shorts, and it's just the perfect summer garment. I really, really enjoyed making it. It was a lovely knit, and I was probably a bit ambitious doing my first garment as a test knit, but I quite like the challenge and I like learning new techniques. And because it was a test knit, I think I put more concentration and focus, because I wanted to get it right, than I would have if it was just a normal project that I fancied myself. So I think that benefited me. But yeah, this is the Seaborn tee. It's not out just yet. The test knit is coming to an end on the 31st of July, which is tomorrow. And then Hannah has said it will be released kind of early August-ish. So head over to Instagram and give her a follow and you'll be able to see all the other test knitters that have taken part. You can have a look at their colour variations, and she'll also notify everyone when it's been released. So yes, this is finished object. This is the main finished object that I've been working on. The second one was actually another test knit, and I probably shouldn't have agreed to doing it because I've just been so busy, but I did it anyway. And just needed to get one sock or the leg done, which I did get done in time. And this is the Best Wishes, Warmest Regards sock by Becky Norman. It's the 4th sock in the Ship's Creek collection, and this one is inspired by David. And I think if you've watched Ship's Creek and you were to see the socks, you would know this was David. It's completely his style. And yeah, I have weaved in the ends, but I need to kind of write down my final measurements and row count, etc., so I can make sure I get the second one right. But yeah, so this has got a lovely textured pattern, and obviously these great stripes, which I think look brilliant. I used Opal Uni 4-ply in navy, and the grey was Cascades Heritage yarn that I'd used for the Johnny sock, the hashtag sock for Becky. I did a Shadow Wrap heel, which is by Earth Tone Girls, which is currently my favourite heel. Really enjoy doing it. Fits really well. Yeah, did a 2x2 rib. The only thing that didn't quite go to plan was I thought I would make this for Matt, and I was just going to go off my dad's, the socks that I did for my dad, I was just going to go off the same stitches, but actually these were made with a 2.5mm needles, and my dad's were made with 2.75, So I thought I had enough rows to match, and Matt did try it on, and I roughly estimated that there was about 10 rows to go before I could do the toe. So I just cracked on, did it, weaved in the ends, and again should have got him to try it on before I finished the toe, and I didn't, so I bound off, did the Kitchener, weaved in the ends, and it's too small. So, but it does fit me. It does fit me. I thought the leg would be too big for me because it was I did 64 stitches, but because it's a textured pattern, I think my tension is probably a bit tighter, so actually it fits me fine. I don't know what will happen when I block it. It might grow and therefore fit Matt. I'm not sure, probably not, but if not, I will keep them for myself because I really love them. So it's a half finished object, not quite there. Second sock to go. Yeah, so Beks also has a podcast, the Beks Creates podcast, so you could head over there and take a look, see what she's been up to, and then that's kind of it really for my laptop's just frozen on me, that's annoying. Anyway, that's it for kind of what I've actually managed to finish in the last month. So I thought I would show you, as it's July, the Hobbycraft run a Granny Square month cowl crochet along, and I took part last year. If you go to the beginning of my Instagram, which is not that far, you will see all of the individual squares that I made last year. But here is the full blanket. The bottom. So yeah, my favourite square is the one in the middle, the rainbow. Oh, and I like this guy as well, the sun, the happy sun. So I made this last year, and so there are 25 squares, all made by different designers. There's one square released each day, starting from the 1st or 2nd of July or something. And then you have the rest of the month to attach the squares and do the border. And last year, July is a busy month for us because of my birthday and summer. So actually doing a granny square every day was quite tricky for me, because some of them are fairly straightforward, some of them are more in depth and you have to really follow the pattern, so it was really easy to get a couple of days behind and then kind of lose momentum. I did eventually finish all the squares, I think late summer, but I didn't actually attach them or do the border until kind of December time. So yeah, that was, I definitely put too much pressure on myself to follow along and achieve that, but I think that's fine. I think lots of us do it, don't we? We sign up to these things or try and participate when actually we think we've got more time than we have, and it's not quite possible. But I finished it in the end and I absolutely love it. The yarn I used was, it was a Crochet Society box, the Stay at Home box, which came out last summer, obviously during lockdown, towards the end of the first lockdown. And the yarn was Belle Cocoa Stay Crafty DK, which was 60% bamboo and 40% polyamide. It's really soft and it's just lovely pastel colours. So because it was a set that came together, I didn't really know what to make with the yarn. I didn't fancy any of the patterns in the book. I thought this was a great way to use it all in a cohesive way. So yeah, that is the Granny Square cowl from 2020, and I did not sign up to do the same thing this year because I learnt my lesson last year. maybe at some other point I would catch up and do it, because they do look really, really great. I'll put a picture in of this year's so you can see it, and also the link where you can go and find the patterns. It's a free, they're all free patterns. So even if you just fancy doing a granny square with a twist, you could go and have a look and find your favourite granny square and make it. So yeah, that is it for finished objects. So on to works in progress. I obviously have my second Best Wishes Warmest Regards sock, but I can't say I've made much progress. I cast on and I've done kind of a 2 rounds of the cuff, but I knew if I didn't cast on immediately, then it would end up kind of one sock syndrome. So and I used to really not look forward to casting on at all. I hated it, but I've got the muscle memory now and I can just do it quite quickly. So, and I actually really quite enjoy casting on now. So I've cast on, I've done a couple of rounds, and yeah, so that's there. I can just pick that up. The cuff will be just 2x2 ribbons, so it's quite straightforward. But then I'll need to pay a bit more attention to obviously the leg. Oh, I lied earlier when I said I'd never striped, because this sock has stripes. So there we go. So yeah, that is one sock on the go. The second sock I've got on the go is Socks for Matt's Grandma. Here they are. So this is using the Curated Yarn Co. Opulence mini set that I've shown before, and this is where I am. I've decided to fade, so I've used the kind of brownie colour as the cuff, and then I've started off with the lightest colour, which has got pink speckles, and then I'm starting to fade in the lightest pink. So I'm doing these 2 at a time because I really like doing 2 at a time. Did my dad's socks 2 at a time, so I thought I'd do it again, but I shouldn't have. Well, I did it 2 at a time because then I knew that they would both match and remember how many rows until I started the fade and etc, etc. But I've got myself into a bit of a mess. It was probably a bit ambitious to do 2 at a time with 2 colours. I mean, the good news is I'm nearly at the point where I'm fading out the first colour, so I'll be able to get rid of that, and then I think I might make, yeah, because what I've done is instead of making 2 balls, I'm just taking one from the outside and one from the inside. And I think when I attached the second colour, I was a bit twisted, so then as I've kind of gone round and round, I've just got this awful knotty mess. I mean, it's okay at the moment. I'm just going to struggle through until I've got rid of this first colour, then I'm going to reevaluate. But considering I've nearly finished the first colour, I've still got this much yarn left. So it would be nice to keep it as 1 ball instead of having 2 smaller balls. But I think with this quantity, it doesn't really matter whether it's 2 balls or 1. I think there's, yeah, I don't know. So yeah, colour 1, colour 2, and then be fading to the dark purple. I haven't decided if I'm going to do heels, toes and cuff in this, or if I'm just going to do cuff and toe and then have the heel as part of the fade. I think that might look a bit better, but I'm not sure. I'm just going to wing it when I get to the heel. I want to see, I know that I'll be doing, so I'm using the Knitting Squirrels guide to sock sizes, because obviously they're gift socks, so I won't be able to try them on. That's Grandma's feet are kind of size 2.5, which is great because the Knitting Squirrel has got a size guide, extra small for size 2 to 3, so that's perfect. So I've only cast on 52 stitches, and the leg is only going to be 45 stitches long, and it's kind of something similar I think for the foot. So it's kind of going to be 2 colours for the leg, these 2 colours, and then 2 colours for the foot. So I'm not sure what to do about the heel. It might make more sense to have this brownie colour as the heel and then just have the fade kind of up the front. I'm not sure. I'm going to just wait and see what happens when I get to the heel. But I'm really enjoying making these. And the yarn's so soft. So soft. Especially compared to the Opal yarn that I'm using for the David socks. Yeah, I'm really enjoying making them. But you can see I haven't made too much progress on these either. I think last time we spoke I'd done the cuff, so that is kind of the extent of the knitting. You can see I've not been that productive, but that's okay. So I have one final works in progress, and this project I'm actually making at the same time as Ashlee from Ashlees Knitting. So Ashlee had followed me on, well, we'd kind of become friends through Instagram anyway, and then Ashlee followed me on Ravelry and looked through my library and my favourites and found that we both had a common project, which is the Layla bralette by Joan Ho. So we said we would make it together. So I went to my local, well, one of the local yarn stores on Tuesday to pick out my yarn. The shop's called The Barn Yarn in Bracknell, and I was looking for a DK weight cotton or cotton wool blend. They didn't have any cotton wool blends, but they did have plenty of cotton yarns, 100% cotton yarn. So I decided to go for Kingcole Cottonsoft DK Candy, and it's kind of blown out a little bit, but it's white with these kind of purple and pink, I mean, speckles, splotches. I don't actually know what you'd call it. You can see the colours quite well there. So yeah, this is, Kingcole. It's 100% cotton. The gauge on it matches the recommended gauge for the pattern. The colour is Spice. It's not very spicy, but it's called Spice. So yeah, I have started the ribbon along the bottom. This is how far I have got. So I cast this on Wednesday, and if you saw my Instagram yesterday, I'd obviously picked it up and started. I think I must have, this had gone inside out, or I just started knitting the wrong way, and I got round halfway and realised that half of it was bigger than the other half, so I had to go back and put that back in the right way. So that was a valuable lesson in paying attention when you're picking up and putting down your projects. Make sure you're going the right way, as you have to undo it. But yeah, I'm a bit nervous that I'm going to be able to get this on, get it over the top of my shoulders, but we'll see. I don't think I'd wear it on its own, because I don't really wear crop tops or anything like that. I imagine I'll wear it on holiday or under a shirt or something, a layer in the winter maybe. under something else, but it's obviously going to be quite a quick project as it's a bralette, and there's lots of lovely detail. So I'll be learning some new techniques. I-cord straps. I haven't done a knitted I-cord yet. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to it, and especially as I'm making it along with Ashlees, so we can give each other moral support. The pattern is quite in depth. There is a little bit of maths involved, making sure you get your right size. So that'd be interesting. I can be one for not really reading the sizing properly or kind of guesstimating. But I'm trying to get better at measuring. So I did take my time reading the pattern thoroughly, measuring, actually reading the pattern through before I started. Well, most of it anyway. So I'm hoping the sizing will be fine, but it will be a good test. Hopefully I've learned enough to know, to make sure that I'm doing what I should be doing and I've calculated the right sizes. So yeah, that is it for works in progress. I will now talk about new yarn and projects, which again are on the light side, as I haven't really got that much. There was only one more yarn that I got in the whole month of July, which is pretty impressive. Again, it was from the Barn Yarn, and they stock the Skein Queen, which is a local hand dyer in Berkshire as well, in the UK, in Newbury. And this, I just couldn't resist it because the colour is amazing. It's called Vegas Baby, and it's on the Crush DK base, superwash merino 75% and 25% nylon DK. So I think these will be DK socks. I'm not actually sure how much of a sock you can get out of a skein of DK, so at the very least it will be a pair of shorty socks. But yeah, I couldn't walk away from it. I didn't really want to buy it. I didn't really intend to go buying any other yarn, but the other yarn store close to me in Maidenhead just has your kind of big brands. It doesn't have any local or any hand-dyed yarns whatsoever, but the Barn Yarn does have some. They do have their own yarns, and I wasn't in there too long because it was nearly closing time, but they had the Skein Queen, and yeah, in this colour I couldn't resist, I couldn't leave it, so I treated myself and got that. And that's it for new yarn, which is good because I've got quite a few new sock yarns that I need to start working on. I had big ambitions to do loads of socks during summer sock camp, and so far I've only done one pair, and I don't really like buying yarn without a purpose for it, so this was a bit of an exception, but I couldn't help it. But yeah, I've got quite a few sock yarns and sock patterns that I want to do, so I'm not sure how much yarn I will be buying, but we'll see. You never know, do you? So yeah, and then new patterns. I purchased the Crazy Sock Ladies heel toe do-si do because I really love how that looks in self-striping yarn. I've seen there's lots of people that are knitting is it Desert Vista Dye Works Summer Sock Way colour in the heel toe do-si do, and it looks really, really great. So I purchased that pattern whilst there's a 15% off discount code, which I think runs out on Sunday the 31st of July, so I'm not sure when I'll get this live on YouTube. No, Saturday the 31st of July. I'm not sure when I'll get this up to YouTube, so you may miss out on that, but if I miraculously get this up tonight, then you might be able to get 15% off my patterns too if you head over to my Instagram. So yes, I got those, and then the only other pattern I've got is potentially a bit of a special project. So if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen I was swatching as soon as I finished this, literally as soon as it came off the needles and was blocked, out blocking, I started swatching for this project. And I had seen on Lily Kate Makes Instagram that she has a wrap cardigan that she'd made, and I don't know if it's that exact cardigan or another one that was shipped over to America so someone could wear it on their wedding day. And that got me thinking, as I'm getting married soon, that, well, so we're getting married in October, so hopefully the weather will be still quite mild and quite nice, but it could potentially be cold and miserable as well. So I was thinking I will need to wear something, and I'm not really someone who wears shawls at the moment, and couldn't really imagine myself with a shawl. So the idea of a wrap cardigan was quite nice. So I was looking up the exact pattern. I can't remember what the exact pattern was that I was looking at, but from looking on Ravelry, it seemed to be a wrap that took people quite a long time to make, because it was made using, it was kind of lace weight or heavy lace weight, and from the people that had made it, a lot of them had said that it took forever to make, and I don't have that long. I've only got 10 weeks, 11 weeks. So I went on the hunt for some other wrap cardigans and came across the Grace Wrapper by Kate Oates. So this was part of the Grown collection, if you've seen that or have that, pictures on the back. And I just really liked the bobble detail on the sleeves, and yeah, I just think it's really nice. I thought, yeah, I just really liked it, and with the kind of dress that I'm going to go for, the shape of it would work really well, and I do have some yarn that I can use. So I bought this yarn a couple of months ago, with the view of, it was kind of a bit of a treat buying a sweater quantity of this yarn, but it was going to be a garment, a jumper that I really wanted to make, but that's okay if you repurpose it right. So this is the Lang Yarn Cashmere Premium, and it's a very pale grey colour. I don't really like or suit nudes, kind of beige or pink. I prefer kind of grey nudes, neutrals, grey or light blue or lilac-y, that kind of tone, which this is. But yeah, I don't know if this colour would actually work with the dress that I'm getting. I haven't actually 100% decided on my dress. I have one that I really, really like. I'm going to just try on a couple of others to make sure I'm happy. And then I need to actually see if this colour would go with the dress. If there is kind of any beading, I need to make sure this is not going to catch, because obviously I don't want to ruin it. So in the next few days, hopefully I'll know what I'm wearing, and then I will know if this lovely cardigan, show you again, would be something I could wear with it. I like the idea, it just may not actually work out. So I did the swatch. I've got gauge. and oh, it's just the loveliest fabric. It's so soft, and it's still quite thin and delicate, and it's obviously very luxurious, being 100% cashmere. And I know it's something that I would wear and wear again, actually. And I'd love to be wearing something that I've made myself. But again, I haven't got much time, the colours might not go, etc, etc. So I haven't cast on yet. But if the next few days go well and I have my dress, then I know whether I can do it or not. And if not, I might end up making a shawl. And so I might have to pick new yarn, different colour. But we'll see. If you keep an eye on Instagram, then I will let you know what I do. Or alternatively, if you don't have Instagram or follow me on Instagram, and you see the next episode, I will 100% will have made a decision and will have cast on whatever I decide to make to keep me warm if I need it. So that is pretty much it for my content. Oh, I must say, hold on, I'm back, and so is Fernando, who likes to come and say hello. So for my birthday, my 30th birthday, my parents got me a set of Triagu interchangeable needles. This is the 5-inch. Oh, throwing needles everywhere. It's not good, is it? 5-inch sets. I don't know what size are they. 4.5. There you go. So we've got the large set that goes from 5.5 to 10. And then we have the small size, which goes from 2.75, oh, I've just dropped my needles, to 5mm. And, oh, sorry, I've also got some additional interchangeables. These are 3-inch tips in various sizes. And then comes with it are obviously the large cables and the small cables. I think you can get connectors or converters to be able to use the cables, because I can already see that I'm going to need more cables for different projects on the go. And I've also got some twist mini cables that I got on an offer somewhere. And so I had actually done the Seaborn tee with some Knit Pro fixed circulars, but when I was doing the sleeves, these had arrived, so I did the sleeves on these, and oh my god, it was so much nicer to knit with. There's nothing wrong with the Knit Pro ones at all, but these were definitely an upgrade, and the knitting experience is just so much better. So yes, I was really lucky to get these. My parents thought it was a very odd request, and my grandma thought it was an even more of a strange request. She cannot get her head around the fact that I knit and crochet. But there you go. It's what I like, it's what I enjoy, and I absolutely love these. I know I'm going to get so much use out of them. And then the only other thing is I did get a wool winder. So I wound up as soon as I got it as well as one of my birthday presents. I wound up the small skein of Mandy Makin's Summer Socteiy, Summer Sock Camp colourway. So I wound up the yellow mini, but I did it by holding the yarn in my hand, and it was a disaster. It got knotted, it got tangled. It just wasn't pleasant. It was very stressful. So I went on to Amazon and got Swift delivered. It's obviously not the prettiest of Swifts, so I would love a nice wooden handmade Swift and yarn winder, but we just don't have the space where we are at the moment for me to have anything like that out constantly. So this is fold away and yeah, I mean, it might not last very long, but hopefully we won't be in the flat very long. So eventually I'll be able to upgrade, but that's also made a massive difference. I think half the reason I haven't cast on a lot of the socks that I wanted to, with all the lovely hand dyed yarn I've got over the last few months, is because I couldn't face hand winding it. So now that's not a problem. I hand wound the Opulence minis, but that was fine because they were minis, so they were super quick. But a full skein, it's a bit painful, isn't it? So I've now got proper winding equipment, so watch your space. But yeah, that is pretty much everything. I don't really have much to tell you in the way of books either. I don't think I've finished anything. And I definitely haven't updated my journal. So maybe at the end of August, I'll give you a full update of what I've been reading. But that just shows how busy we are, because I mean, some months this year, I've finished 5 books, 6 books, and I don't think I've done any. But it's great. Socialising again, seeing friends and family and belated celebrations. But yeah, I'm looking forward to some downtime and chilling out and knitting. So if you have enjoyed this episode, then please give it a like. Leave me a comment, let me know what you're working on. Give me some inspiration to find more knitting time. Have you made any of the projects that I'm currently working on? If so, let me know how you found them, how you got on. If you want to head over to my Ravelry page and look at the comments for any of the projects that I've done or have going on, then that is, my username is yarnstoriessophie. I will link that below. You can follow me on Instagram at yarn.stories. Again, that will be linked below. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe and press the bell. If you press the top bell, then you will get a notification when the newest video has been released. I will see you again at the end of August. Happy knitting, enjoy your summer if it's your summer, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.